Good morning, everybody. Just making sure that everything is working out. It is currently 12 minutes after 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and just doing a stream. I know that I don't have a particular time going right now for my streams. Um, Today, I'm actually leaving for the holiday to Utah, and so this may be the last day I do any streaming before the until after the Christmas holiday. Um, so likely until Monday the 26th. I'll probably be back on then. Um, so today I'm gonna talk about the current market conditions. Um, See if we can get any live watchers in here today. I imagine that the numbers are going to be lower because of the holiday approaching. And we're going to mention to you about or go over my held short position on the Euro US dollar. Okay, so this will be the first thing I cover today is my current trade and the situation. Then we'll move on to some of the other pairs, the technical side of how things are looking on the other pairs, and we'll talk about the pairs that are uh, hot right now, or going to be like the yen, with the news coming out regarding that later today, and the Aussie. So I'll show that to you at the moment, so we can talk about the news first, as that's what you should cover or look at the news before you start trading for the day. Um, and today we're gonna have Yellen's gonna testify. The markets have been pretty dead, likely until that time. I'm not really sure what she's going to speak about, and we'll just have to wait and see at 1:30. Then the monetary policy meeting minutes. Uh, this could affect the Aussie. But if anything, I think it may extend the current losses for the pair. As you can see, it's continuing to push down in a pretty big way. I think that's probably going to continue as long as the USD is strengthening, and the precious metals are falling as well. The Australian dollar is connected and linked to uh, commodities, so as long as those are falling, it could put pressure on the Aussie dollar. Um, the BOJ meeting that's happening sometime today. At least Forex Factory doesn't really know. But the rate is they're planning as far as we understand, to keep it the same. But there is supposed to be some pretty big important words in the statement. So I believe that most people are thinking that there could be some positivity in the statement, not necessarily the rate, but the statement, and that's what's causing the UJ to uh, make this slope pattern that's going on right now. They're thinking that the downward motion could continue through that statement, but we'll just have to wait and see depending on that wordage. All right, so as you guys know, I had a position in on the Euro US dollar. I'm going to show that to you now. All right, so I entered after this bearish candle here. So it's the one that has the flag on it, and I thought that was going to continue down. It did. Let me get rid of this indicator. It did for a bit. It did dip down a bit, not a ton, and then it bounced back up. So what people are thinking right now, and this has been a lot of the talk on forexsignals.com, they're seeing this, at least on the 1 hour, the higher lows and the slightly higher highs as well, and they're thinking this looks like it's a new trend. It's the start of a new trend in the upward direction, and the USD, the euro is going to recover from some of this push down. That's very likely. I mean, it looks like it could be using these levels to bounce off of, possibly make a new high, and then we can continue this type of pattern, right? Well, it's hard to say because when it comes to technical, that's what's happening. But we know that technical trading is only part of the market, and Um, if traders decide that they want to continue to hold on to their short positions based on the fundamental sides of or that fundamental outlook for the dollar. Right now, it's what it's looking like that traders and institutions are holding on to their short positions for the time being. Otherwise, we would see this pushing up in a much bigger way than it is now. It is consolidating or retracing. It has had its pullback. Uh, I do think it's limited to the 1.05 level, so right up here. I think the push is limited to up there, and then it will have a continued down pattern after that. So I did have the position. I closed it out. I closed it out at a small profit. Why? It's not worth to me anymore holding on to an added position because the initial entry that I took the trade off of, so off of the reversal candle that I just pointed out right there, and it bounced and it broke the high. So that made a new low. It made it a new high from a recent high. When that broke here in that area, it did bounce back down after a inside candle, and then it went to this level. I decided to pull out the position right in here when I saw this level forming. Because it means that we are having higher lows, and this could extend further. I don't want to hold on to a secondary position if this decides that it's going to extend further. It doesn't make sense to me to hold on to that position anymore when it comes to uh, the technical analysis and what I'm seeing. I don't think it's worthwhile holding on to this particular trade. Now this one that's still currently in, I have a lot of room on that trade. Like I said, I am expecting or see a potential for a bounce up to 1.05 and the recovery extending to that area potentially or close to it. Um, if it does break, then we'll just have to see where the next place that it could potentially bounce back. Now, there's also a whole number at 1.06 as well up here. That's another potential area where it could, re I guess, renew its trend direction for at that point. Let me see if there's any comments coming through on YouTube. Okay, no comments yet. Just a few of you watching live right now. Most of my views will be throughout the day. People will watch the stream throughout the day in the next 10 hours or so. Okay, so that's my outlook on the Euro-US dollar. When it comes to fundamental or what my outlook is as a whole is on the technical side, it looks and appears that the recovery is still in effect, uh, or the pullback on the Euro-US dollar. The overall medium to long-term outlook for me is still down, even though we are in what could be a pullback, or recovery, or bounce, a retracement, whatever you may call it, is happening currently. So I'm going to hold on to the position, wait for it to hit a level and the possibility of the trend to continue, as I feel like that is a good probability, at least in my eyes. I'll hold on to the position until break even. I know that I potentially could lose out on a lot of profit with this bouncing all the way back, but I'm still thinking that this is a very important level up here that it should hold, and I am expecting a reversal somewhere in here, and then the trend that breaks the low. So I don't want to get stopped out by the possibility of this moving up in a big way, and then cut my trade here just in time for it to push back down. So I'm trying to be wise with my decision here. I'm trying not to be too greedy as well, but I'm also taking into consideration what the outlook is fundamentally and technically. Okay, so next is uh, the pound USD. Now, the news on this one, let me check. It's currently hit a 4-week low. So you can see what I'm looking at right now. So let me pull this up. Yeah, from what people are saying, at least FX Street, one of the places I look at, it looks like the dollar is still extending on the pair, uh, right here in particular. That the strong USD is affecting the pound more than the euro at this moment. Um, and we just broke this support here. It looked like it may hold with the candle that has the big wick. Looked like there was a failed push down just to extend it in the next few candles after. So right now we're at a still, even though we have broke this level, and it is officially broken, the closed candle below, multiple candles closed below that level. Next we have this one. Right now the candle could close below that level, and that could extend further. I think that it will. And then we're looking at the big one here, the 1.23. That's a level that, to me, if that is broken, then this could extend even further than that. Um, but this could be a good place right here, to look for a potential bounce up there. Now it may pull back a bit. How much I don't know. I may keep it small, and then a continued push down from there, uh, with the uh, with the overall bias being down at this point for the pound, since the USD strength is still up there. Uh, I do think that this is a pretty important level here, and if once that's broken, I'd look for this to extend all the way back down to the 121 level. So keep an eye on that 123. Uh, Sorry, I think that it's the 123, 1.23 level, as a place that price action may bounce off of. Okay, with the UJ basically covering what I said before, with the BOJ news coming out, the rates may stay the same. Uh, they're expecting some positivity on the Japanese yen from the wording in that statement. That's speculation at this point. People are writing with it right now, um, and so be careful with any longs on the UJ. I'd be looking to probably not trade this pair right now, because there is a bit of a crossroads. It's a bit confusing right now because you have a strong USD, and the yen is ignoring the strong USD right now, or traders are ignoring the strong USD, and doing a pretty big pullback on the Japanese yen. So be careful because this might only extend so far, and once that news comes out, it could shoot right back up, uh, depending on what's said in that monetary statement. So my recommendation is to stay away from the UJ, and to stay, maybe not necessarily stay away from the pound, but watch this next level. I mean, right here is where I was pointing out as the really strong point, but it really could switch from here too. We've had a big move today already, and it's uh, due for a pullback of some sort. It's already moved about 135 pips, and so there could be a pullback here or here. Now you should watch the price, or the price action at least, to see how it's behaving. While we already know that this level it saw some, although that kind of failed as it pushed through later on, but it might hold here. So we want to see if multiple candles will close above that level. As you can see here, this candle did close above the first level. This candle kind of closed below it, as you can see here. Next candle closed a few pips, if we were being exact, about 6 pips below. Um, so we want to see if price holds here. Now this isn't a particularly strong level to 1.23 700, but it doesn't mean that it can't use this level as a support. But watch the price action, see what the candle bodies are doing, the wicks, and try to take that into consideration. The next thing I would be looking for is some kind of hint when a bounce could happen, either an engulfing candle of some sort or a insight candle as well, to help show us if this is going to have a pullback. Now, at this point, where this last low was, there was an insight candle. It was very interesting. Didn't have a huge body. It was a very strong signal, but it did bounce from that point. Okay, so we talked about that. I don't have any EA trades in right now. I can show you that account here in a second. But it does look for trades above the 70, for short positions above the 70 and long positions below 30. And so right now it's looking for a special candle in order to take a position on the downside. So we're waiting for a hint that the euro pound will be uh, making a pullback. Okay, let me check the page. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, Michael. Sorry, I'm just looking at your chat. Michael says, why not let it go? So for those of you that can't see the chat and are not watching this live, I'll try to read the questions out loud, even if they are mean or inappropriate. I might leave some things out, but uh, the questions that I feel are fitting for the stream, I'll definitely cover. Um, why not let it go now? So he's talking about my Euro US dollar trade. Um, right now I'm at a $1,871 profit. The reason why I don't want to let it go yet is because I still feel like the bears are holding on here. There's not enough reason to pull out of this trade yet. There's not some news that came out that the USD is going to start becoming weaker. All we have to go on, there hasn't been a lot of news yet. All we have to go on is the Fed meeting, the FOMC, last Wednesday, and what was said there. Nothing has happened since. Right now, this is a price action type of pullback, and I don't want it to knock me out and scare me out of the trade if it's going to turn around fairly soon. Now, the big area of support and resistance is near that 1.05 level. Now there is potential for me to pull out there if I see that there is going to be a bounce or if price is breaking above it. If that level doesn't hold, that's the level that I'm really considering as a gauge for what's happening next. Okay. So he asks, so why not close it now and re-enter at less risk? There is, I mean, it's not a bad idea because then I'm booking um, $1,800 in profit, and then basically enter at maybe at 0.2 at this point here, or maybe just a bit higher, and then extends down. The thing is that even if I enter at my standard risk at 0.2, at that point, and I just pulled it out, let's say we entered there, that would be $122, 122 pips, which would equal out to be about $250 or just under in standard profit. So I'd still come out with some profit, but the thing is I know that some people may say this looks like a free trade at this point. It's a free trade at this point because even if it recovers, I'll pull out at break even, and that's that. But to me, I am losing out on profit if it bounces all the way back and I lose out on say whatever it was, the lowest it was at, or the highest it was at, it was $2,600. So I was only 40 pips away from my target at one point. Um, and unfortunately, I will lose out on this trade. But the thing is that I'm holding on to this. This is a long-term trade. I'm holding on to it for as long as as I feel the U.S. strength will continue. And I've said in my other previous videos that I do think that the strength will continue through the holiday and possibly even through the Trump inauguration. Um, so in mid-January. Uh, and so I hold on to it until I see something change. Now, what may change that with me holding on to something like that. This is, let's say that the Electoral College decides that they don't want Trump as president. That would be huge, a huge upset, uh, and and it would cause fear in the USD for sure. I would immediately cut the trade out and bank the profit at that point. So. I'll be keeping an eye on the news there to check to see what happens with that. Very unlikely, but there is a possibility. And if that were to happen, oh yeah, this would shoot up fast. It would shoot up hard. Um, so the next question. Okay, so this user just puts the smiley face. Not really sure what that means, but I guess I'll just take that. Let's move on to the Euro Japanese yen. This has been pushing down. Um, and there hasn't been any really big candles in this push to show me that there is a reversal happening here. Now, if you look at this candle, so the one that has the big wick, and then this one that it's currently in, that has about 30 minutes left, there is looking like there's some kind of support here. And if you look back here, you can see that there was a level uh, here, and it's if you look even deeper, you'll see that it's a whole number. So 122, and so that's why this could show some bounce here. We know that investors or traders will typically look at the whole numbers as a potential target area or stop loss area, and see how price reacts to them. And right here, you see that previously it did move at that level, so there is, I guess, potential for that here. Although I don't see any candles, and the ones that I like are the bullish engulfing, or the engulfing candle, a particular engulfing candle, and an inside candle. Right now, that has not happened, but it doesn't mean that this can't still bounce from there. It's not necessary to have one of those candles in order for this to move up at that point. Um, but I will continue to be looking at that. There is possibility that I could take a small trade here. Because this has been in an uptrend. If we look at the most important levels, we'll see these two, at least since the 1st of December or just before it. I'm looking at this level, so that's the 119, near the 119 level, and then this level at the 121, and then here we are at 122. So as long as this level holds to me, then this trend is still intact. We had a couple levels here that were broken. So we had this one here, new high. So new high, it broke it, but it did hold near this whole level here. So I'm going to circle all these times, and then it did bounce again at that same level. Eventually it was broken. We made a new high. So as long as these lower lows are intact to me, then I'll take it. This one is still intact, even though it looks like it might have slightly broken it. This could be a good area. I'm not sure if waiting for a specific candle is a good idea here. Um, and this might be an early indication for this to bounce. And I almost want to consider taking it. Why? Well, okay, so let's take in the cross, the euro US dollar, for example. Let's say that this continues to move up. Well, that means that I am losing profit on that side, but likely if that's moving up, so is this. Um, I'm actually going to take this position. going to take it at just 0.1 right now. So it's going to be low risk. Nothing really intense here. And I'm going to go ahead and take it. Now, my take profit is going to be this same level. So this 122.7, or near that level, because it keeps hitting that right here, because it's been hit so many stinking times, that I don't necessarily want to hold on to it all the way up until the next swing high, because typically when you're trend trading, you want to trade it in that way where you're looking at the lower lows. Let's say that this is one, and it's going to shoot up, and it will break that next low and push up further. So I technically could hold on to this for a long time and go for that. There's actually I'm actually going to close this one out at break even because I made a mistake here. What's my mistake? I'm gonna tell you right now. What did I forget about? I forgot about the BOJ policy rate and the statement. So I'm gonna have to close this out. And so I lost $2.48. Not a big deal. It's not worth it to me to put in a trade the day of the policy statement coming out, when the yen could really skyrocket in one way or another, and I have no idea which way that's going to be. Right now, I would think that if the USD is losing value against the yen, that this would push up, but it's or push down as well, and it's hard to say. I'm not gonna gamble on this trade, so I pulled it out. All right. Although I like it, I still like it when it comes to price action. It looks good. All right, guys, I'm only gonna take a few more minutes. No, this stream is not on forex signals. I told some of the traders before, I removed myself from forex signals when I had my loss, and it was a very careless loss, and I didn't feel like um, I should be on forex signals doing a stream, uh, having a mess up like that, and so I removed myself. Um, and Now I'm just streaming, maybe not every day on YouTube, but I'm doing streams at least every other day in the morning, anywhere from 9 a.m. to about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The AUD/USD is expected to continue its downward spiral because of the USD strength and the Australian dollar really struggling. Um, uh, in the past couple of weeks in regards to commodities taking a big hit as well. Um, the Japanese yen, same story, big push down. Right now, I don't see a whole lot of recovery yet in the picture. This has been on a big uptrend. Big support areas to look for are these two levels. So the 80 near the 84 level, and then near the 83 level. It did pull up just before that, but as long as those are intact, I would imagine that the potential for the trend to eventually bounce is high, but that means that the losses could extend quite a bit further. We're talking about at least another 116 pips, maybe more. All right, crossroads for the CAD, Japanese yen, just broken. So this was the trend that was intact for quite a long time, always making new swing levels. Look at this, like they're perfect all the way up. At least the swing lows, always higher lows. in this trend, and then it finally just broke at the top. Not the doesn't mean that this is a start of a continuation down uh, yet, but because this area was broken, there is potential for this to go down a bit further. We have to try to find the next level that could really that it could hold at. And right now, let me see if I can point that out. I'll look at the 85 level for one, and then the potential for the 86 level. If we're looking right at directly at price, it would be right in here. But it technically is near the 86 level for a possible bounce. So watch for this to maybe extend more. There is a slight potential that it could still recover, even breaking here. You have to watch the candles for the next few hours to see what happens. But this was what I'd be looking for as uh, the second to the last line of recovery, and this will be the the the, the third. So first was up here, second, third, and if it breaks this level, then it could continue to fall even faster at that point. So watch those places for at least for trend trading. Um, all right, let's see. Looks like we're getting a little bit of choppiness on the stream. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna cover the last pair. I'm gonna cover is uh, the last two. I'll cover the last two, and then I'll end the stream. Uh, so the pound Japanese yen. Uh, Also big uptrend, new higher lows. The most recent one broken. Next line of defense for the trend is to me is the 144 level. There is some weaker places, like right here at the 144 or near it. 145 is near, but it just recently broke, so my next level is the 143. Uh, and so I think that there is a possibility for this to continue down. It could find a support anywhere in there, though, really, up until this level. It might shoot all the way down, and then at this level, it could bounce. But be watching for some kind of candle, engulfing or inside, or there's a bunch of other candles that you can look for hints of when this could recover. The pound is suffering on the USD, so watch your crosses. Watch your crosses to see what's happening on those to get some hints. All right, and the last pair that we'll cover now is the US dollar CAD. It's right near that 134, 1.34 level. So we're at a pretty strong resistance point. And then we'll see what happens there. We want to see, we're looking for is a strong candle closing above that 134 level for it to break through. And so I want that candle to close, the body of the candle to close pretty strong. We want to see a candle like this, where the candle body closes in strength, in a lot of strength. And we want it to see it close, 10, maybe 15 pips above that 134, which is also the resistance point here. That's pretty important. So if it doesn't, if we see some wicked candles at the top here, then this could do a retracement back down, at least to this level, or pull back. All right. So no trades I'm taking today. I got close to taking the UJ, sorry, not the UJ, the Euro Japanese yen. Actually entered the trade, closed it out because of the BOJ news coming out later today. Didn't want to be involved in that, so I closed out the position. Lastly, the Euro US dollar did have a fake out here where it was looking like it might push up, but now it is continuing to fail. Seeing this happen quite a bit at this level or in this whole area, there's a lot of candles that have wicks on them, a lot of insecure price action right now, uh, which makes me happy that I'm not in this second position at this point. All right, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you after the holiday on the 26th of December, and for a potential for another stream. And have a good holiday, and we'll see you later. Bye.